to just, look, all I wanted to do was train jiu-jitsu and work out. So I needed to create a lifestyle that supported that. So I cut myself off from everything. I got one of my bodybuilding buddies. Actually, before I even got him as a roommate, I moved into somebody's garage, and I lived in a one-car garage stall for, geez, like 2 years, two and a half years. And it was the Delta sorority house. I moved into their garage because when I was working at the gym, the way the Tri-Delts work is they have the sorority houses on campus, but then like the low budget, like the freshman girls don't get to live in the nice place. They have these rundown houses around town where they put up like the freshmen and sophomores, I guess.
Okay.
And like they're all just a shitty house. It's all dilapidated, falling apart. And so I lived in the garage, and I knew the girl. They call them the house mother. The girl that was running that one house. She was a friend of mine from the gym, and she's like, yeah, we kind of want somebody in the house. We're looking for a roommate. We want a guy. We have this little studio. It turned out to be their garage. They're looking for a guy to move in there with, because they don't feel comfortable in there, just the girls. And I was like, well, sounds good. I'll take it. So I went over there. It was awesome. Everything just in the garage, and the garage door into the house led into the kitchen. So I had the access to the kitchen, and for some reason the washer and dryer were in the kitchen. So I had that. And then there was a bathroom on the downstairs. They let me come in to use the bathroom and stuff. And then eventually I worked out a deal, and it was super cheap. Obviously, it was practically nothing. And then I wound up working out a deal where I got to stay there for free completely because I worked something out with the landlord that I would fix anything that broke, which was everything all the time. The place was a hole.
You just turned into a handyman, basically.
Yeah, basically. And so then I got to live basically free. So I worked in the bar a couple of nights a week with all the jiu-jitsu. All the guys at the jiu-jitsu worked in the club down at Pearl Street, and we all worked in the same bar, the Foundry. So there was like a whole bunch of us there. Like all the main guys worked there at one point. Me, Jay, Elliot, Marcos, Finney. Man, there was a whole bunch of us that worked there. It was awesome. We just worked there at night and trained all day. That was it. Good times.
But I mean, life can't be much better when you're just training all the time, right?
Like you didn't care. Like there was like no concern for the future whatsoever.
Right.
Like it's like I'm gonna live in a garage, work out, and train jiu-jitsu all day, every day. That's all I want in life, and just make it happen.
Right.
Just make it happen. It's the thing. It's the thing that like it's funny because I'll talk with Shihan, or I've talked with people about this before. It's like, man, I moved my life around to be able to accommodate my goal, which was to be able to work out. I just wanted to live and train and work out. That's all I wanted to do. So I adjusted my life to support that. Amal, man, he moved to Brazil to learn this martial art that nobody knew what it was. He's like, I got to do that. And then he came back to America and he wanted to get his black belt. He would fly to Brazil, multiple times. He'd go to New York from Denver like every month, and like you do what you got to do to make things happen. And then, he's not rich either. I think he even worked in the bar at one point. So like you do what you got to do, live the way you got to live. And if you really want something, you make it happen. You don't complain about it. And like, it never even concerned, I don't think it ever even considered anybody fucking complaining about anything. It was great, but then when, it's funny because, well, like somebody will come in and be like, oh, I really would like to train, but like, it's too long of a drive from like Detroit Lakes or some shit, and it's like I can't stand hearing that shit, but it's a generational, like it's me. Like I like, if that's all I had to do when I was coming up, I'd be happy, man. Holy shit. Only drive from Detroit Lakes, that'd be spectacular. I'd be here 7 days a week.